Hello, hello everyone. Bonjour Marilou and everybody else who's here. This is Anne-Sophie and today is our class for spread love, change lives, make some freaking sales while you're having fun. So as we get going, I'm just going to give people a moment to join in. I am going to mute everybody so that it's a clear recording. A whole bunch of people have asked me to receive the recording, so I'm super excited to be here. I also removed your videos so that it makes it an easier video for everybody to watch. So here, put me on video. We do have the chat feature enabled during the live call. So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a chat window and you can totally just pop in questions and things here. And I will just start by introducing myself and just thanking you all for being here with me today and joining me for this fantastic call, which has nothing to do with me and everything to do with you and about being able to spread love and change lives while, of course, making sales. Because this is the thing, so my name's Anne-Sophie and I work with women who are change makers. And for a long time, I was saying, you got to spread love, change lives, and fuel your soul and bank account too. And I think I was avoiding saying you got to make some sales. You can't fill your bank account and fill your soul if you can't make sales. So yes, it is really important to learn to make sales. But let me tell you about why I wanted to host this call. For a long time, and I think, some of you might be feeling the same way, I had a love-hate relationship with sales. I'm like, I know I need to make some sales to get clients, but I hate making the sale. I just didn't like asking for the sale, didn't like necessarily receiving the money, or once I did, it was like, are they going to refund or cancel? And I think there's this kind of energy about love and hate that does happen with making sales. But the truth is, if you have it in your heart that you're going to make a big difference in the world, you have to learn to make peace with sales and start to love sales. So that is why I wanted to talk about it today. And this call is really about the love side of things. I'm going to break down a little bit of what happened in my journey, how I got here. If you would have asked me a year ago, and told me, hey, you're going to be hosting a call about spreading love and making sales, I'd be like, you're out of your mind. I would have said, no way, Jose, there's no way that's happening. But here I am. So I started my business a few years ago after I've had the burnout. I had a concussion that made me stop everything and reconsider everything. And I took so many courses about sales. I followed the scripts and the formulas. And I really did try it all. And I had some clients definitely who came, but not a flood of client. That never happened. And until I made some commitments and some big changes in my business fairly recently. There's a lot of different things that happen. And by all means, I had this week where I was able to get 100% of my potential clients, the people that I was connecting with, to say, yes, I want to work with you. So I got this 100% conversion rate on my calls. But I don't want to say that this was an overnight success story, because it was a long time coming. And I definitely want to put that up front, because I think every woman who's here on this call, who's either watching the replay or is here with me live, has been at this for a little bit. It's either been in your plans and your heart, and you've put yourself out there already. You've asked for sales already. You've gotten some yeses. You've gotten some nos. And you know what it's like to feel both. You know what it's like to feel nervous, and doubt yourself and fear. And that's where I've really been too. I've had both the successes and the failures. But now, what happened is a few weeks ago, actually it was just at the end of last week, I had this fantastic energy and fantastic week, because I made this decision that I was going to start building my life and my business 100% based out of love, which means there's no room for fear. 100% love, no room for fear. And so I made this decision, and yes, there were some energetic shifts that happened along the way, and some work that I did personal work along the way and mindset work and all kinds of stuff. But what happened is that every time that a fear would show up, I would just see it, name it, let it go. See it, name it, let it go. And just was able to move through and start to show up and fall in love with what I'm doing. And there's this line that I love to use is that, you know, I took my head out of my ass because it wasn't clear up there and I couldn't see the light. And it's kind of rude, I know, but when I was stuck in fear, I was so focused on everything I wasn't doing right and on, you know, losing out and not just on the long list of not being good enough, that I couldn't see clearly that, you know, the most loving thing I could do for myself, for my business, for the women whose life I'm here to serve, was to just show up and to love them enough to be clear that I can make a difference in their life simply by showing up and having my heart first. So I'm going to talk a bit more today about how I got to this point and how you can do that too by just amping up the love, because that is your first job. Your first job is to love the fact that you're choosing this career over anything else, and to love the possibilities that you're creating in your life, to love the possibilities that you see in your potential client's life, to be excited for them, like to be more excited than they are for themselves, and so that they can feel and fuel off of your excitement. And it's that level of joy, and joy really vibrationally is even higher than love. So you have to love and be in the joy of the experience of the connection that you are having with this person while you are selling. And, you know, Laura Wright, she says sales is love. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I started to read that and be like, yeah, I guess it is love. But really, it is loving the part of a person that you believe is possible within them, is seeing that part of them and saying, I see it, I believe in you, let's go and do it, I've got your back. So it's from that place of love. And so it does require loving yourself first. We will during this call, so I'm going to go through a little bit of what happened, you know, the mindset, some of the issues. I can take questions as they come up. Like just if you have a question, pop into the chat window and tell me that you have a question. I might unmute you as well. And Chi-Chi's going to come in a little bit just to tell us about her experience of getting on a sales calls with me during that fantastic fun week. And I will break down a little bit of the pieces, talk about the 3S sequence that I identified through the process to help stay in this high vibe place of love. And I'm also going to talk about a new program that I received, kind of got channeled and inspired to create to get women to stay in this high vibe love place and spread love and make sales. So it's a Spread Love and Make Sales bootcamp. And I'll get to that in a little bit, plus share like some bonus things that I've got going on. So, but first, let's talk a little bit about love-based sales and what it is. Honestly, love-based sales is really making that choice and that commitment now and now and now, and every time you post something and every time you connect with someone, that you're going to be doing it from a place of expansion with a really big heart in your natural state of being a caring, kind, loving human being towards you and towards the people who are showing up to choose to share their time with you, whether it's by reading your words, listening to your words, or showing up. It is really about seeing the best of both of you and creating a connection in that overlap. The best of you, the best of them, and you meet in the middle. And so I know, like in love-based sales, you know, it's not like you don't understand the pain points that people are having. You do want to resonate from that place and understand that, you know, tell people, I get you, I get what you're going through, I get your frustration, and I totally like can nurture, see the part of you that would love to get through this. So it's about really connecting from a deep human level. You know, from when you look at a baby when we're born, we are like just pure love. We want to love, curious, we wonder, we want to discover the world, and that same sense of awe and wonder for life is what we need to bring to our work. Because if it doesn't bring us joy, then why the hell are we doing it? And, you know, that's a bigger question, why sometimes we need to pivot and realign our businesses. And, you know, on the personal story, like I started my business with Game Changing Parents, kind of following my mind with what I wanted to do, and yes, my heart wanting to be like the best possible mother for my child, the best role model for my kids, not just tell them be whatever you want to be when you grow up, actually being that, right? But I did all that, and it was after, I got a concussion last August, and it made me stop, and it made me reconsider, because I had become the crazy woman who was not loving herself at all. That energy was therefore going to be going into my sales. And just, if you're just popping on here, I'm just going to mute people. You can either, I don't actually know if you can mute yourself, but I'll mute you just so that it's a clear audio. So I basically had to love myself enough to see the truth that the first business that I started was working okay for me, but it wasn't me being at the biggest expanded version of who I'm meant to be and who I'm meant to serve. Ultimately, I'm meant to work with women who are change makers. I started that work in my early 20s by gathering women's circles, by studying women's studies about, how women can use their voice and their words to change their world and empower themselves. So I started that work then, but I was fucking afraid to pursue it professionally for a long time. So I realized I got that whack of the frying pan on the head from the universe. I received the bonk and then changed course and changed direction. And I started to see the truth. And I think truth is actually a greatest measure of love. And so the truth of seeing who I'm meant to serve and who I'm meant to be allowed me to unfold things. And it was definitely not a straight, narrow path to where I am now. I received the help of many gifted, talented women and accepted it with love. And now it's my time to pay it forward and really love the women who are showing up in my life, love the possibility I see within them. I have this gift of seeing possibilities. I call myself a possibilitarian. So what I do know is that it's really easy when you're a sensitive and highly intuitive, in touch person to shortchange your potential in yourself. And so what I found is that it makes it a lot easier to work towards something, but understand that the personal growth will happen through it. So like in my work, I'll work towards creating articles or videos or guest expert interviews, but tools, things that you're going to be using, understanding that there's going to be personal growth through it. And so in the context of sales, I think that if you start to make things fun, then you're going to get through your own resistance. You're going to let go of the fear and start to fall in love with the journey and the process. So it's really about being in that place of love and high vibe for you and for the person whose life you're meant to change. Those are my intentional words about how I speak about ideal destined clients, those people that really are already in your heart. They might not be in your life yet, but you are meant to change their life in some way, shape, or form, and falling in love with them before they even have a chance to get to know you. So in love-based sales, I do want to use this sequence of 3 S's, which is about first being social, getting to know people, and then secondly, serving, truly offering them something of value. And, the term value gets thrown around lots in the visibility world of, just show up and give a lot of value. I'm like, yeah, but it's from which place? It's like, it has to really, really serve, which means you need to get how to serve your peeps. And then the third part is selling. So that's really the flow of how to stay in that connection. I can't just show up and just sell. That's not going to work. I have to serve. I have to give, and be open to receive. So before I tell you a bit more about further things, I know Chi-Chi is here on the line, and I'm going to unmute you, Chi-Chi. Let me just find you where she is. Unmute. And I just want to, so Chi-Chi and I connected last week. And are you on video?
I'm not on video.
All right.
9:30, but it's so I'm on audio only. But yes.
So yes. we met last week, Chi-Chi and I, and I would love, Chi-Chi, for you to just share maybe what it was like to first connect together, because, you met me on the Friday at the end of that week where, I was just like, love, just the love week. And I'd love to hear what it was like for you as somebody who really we hadn't met before, to just be on the receiving end of this more loving way of doing sales?
Yeah, sure. So we're in a program together, and there's about 200 women in that program. So there's people you see and people you don't see. But somebody posted something about wanting to share their story. They weren't sure how to share their story. And then you kind of answered and said, look, this is what I do. I help you kind of write your story and all this. And I was just like, I need to talk to this woman, because I fully believe in the power of storytelling, but this is something that I'm struggling with myself. But anyway, so you responded to this post, and then you were saying that you were having this call that night, this kind of hustle jam where people can hop on and you help them craft an offer. And then obviously if they wanted to work with you, that's available as well. So I was like, okay, fine. So that call was like midnight for me in London, but I thought, let me just hop on. I was in my bed and I just called in. And yeah, it was just, firstly, that was, I've never really seen that sort of thing where somebody's just generously giving of their time. Like, people give of their time and, they'll like answer if you post in a thread or maybe message you like in Messenger, but like to say, look, come on, you guys, I'm here for like an hour. I want to help each and every one of you to create an offer so that you can go out and start making money to do whatever you want with that. And I just thought that was really inspiring. So I was like, okay, let me come on this call. And I came on the call, and she graciously let me go first because it was like midnight. And we just put together this package, like, because for me, like the work that I do, I'm a business strategist, but I kind of coach women on one side in terms of their visibility and things like that. But there's other bits of me that I felt that I'm not really pulling into my work. So Anne-Sophie was able to kind of draw that out. And throughout our interactions, so I literally had like that 50 minutes time, or 10 minutes even on the call. But after the call, she reached out to me to kind of follow up. We kind of crafted this offer, and you have like this amazing way with words. I've told you this, like, you just kind of, I'll describe something and you're like, what about this? What about this? And it just kind of magically comes together. So yeah, I love getting on the call with on the phone with you, or even messaging with you. We're working together now, and it's sort of like when you kind of connect with people and you look forward to speaking to them because they bring a lot of value into your life. That is what you do, and you did that before I was even a client. So I think that's just amazing. And so that's why I was like, this way of doing things, just tell me how you do it, because it's just so effortless. And for the end user or end receiver, it's really nice. Like, you don't feel you're being sold to, you actually feel like this person gets you. And we're very similar actually in terms of our stories, but I felt like you really understand where I'm coming from and you can help me, which is why I was like, this is an easy yes for me. So
yeah. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, like, there was definitely, you came on the call and I helped you as much as I could. And that was, when I remember putting together this hustle jam idea. So if anybody's ever going to put together a call of some kind, like, yes, you're going to be offering your services. But for me at that point, and even today, like, it's not the primary purpose. I want to serve first. I want to get to know the people who are here. I want to serve first. The people who are meant to work with you, they'll show up. They'll just show up. And being in a place of love, not fear, allows that to become a possibility in your reality. Like, you just welcome it. You're like, sweet, they're going to show up. And so, you showed up, Chi-Chi, on the call, and I reached out to you, and it was always just leading from heart first. Always, always, always. It takes discipline. Like, it's not like it's a natural thing initially, because in our culture, we're raised in a place of so much fear. Like, you turn on the news, it's fear. And as women too, before you leave the house, they're like, be careful and watch out for this. And so, like, we're in this place of constant fear. And so it really it's a radical commitment to choose to shift your life and your business to be 100% love. And it's a recommitting every fucking moment. It's really important though, because then the results can be magical, because whether you work with somebody or not, it's about creating that human connection of respecting each other. We are people first, and people buy from people, not from products. Yeah. So you have to show up as the person that you are. And I think, like, in the connection I had with Chi-Chi, and I had about 7 other calls that week. I started the week with like 3, I think, on my calendar, ended up with like 8 altogether. So just by showing up, and every person that I ended up connecting with was simply someone that I reached out to, cared about, inquired some question, and really followed the, like, let's just be social first, especially when you're marketing through social media. You have to be social first. You can't just like jump on people, get to know each other. And if it feels right, see how you can help each other, serve one another. And then if it feels right, then invite to possibly work together. So is there anything else, Chichi, you want to add, or you're cool for tonight?
No, one other thing I would say is that it was very evident that you were not attached to the outcome. Like, even if I had said, oh, it's not for me to work with you right now, you would have still been like, yeah, that's cool. And you still helped me do whatever I needed to do. And so that really comes across. And I think so often we're so attached to the outcome, which is why there's a lot of fear around selling, because we're so desperate for the sale. Whereas I think by having that sort of, well, I'm just going to help somebody, I'm going to serve them, I want to get to know them, then it just releases all that pressure. Yeah. And I like take that approach now with when I'm talking to people, because because we spoke on Friday. I had a client call on Tuesday, and I had this sort of just kind of like completely different approach to how I was talking to her, and I was expressing it from a place of, look, I want to help you, and I know I can help you, and you have this and everything. And this is somebody who has been in my circle. We've been connecting since like last October, when she initially expressed an interest but didn't sign up, but she signed up on that Tuesday, like this week afterwards. So that was like, that was like a $2,000 sale. So it's just, when you take that approach, it really does work.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And it really does work. And it's like learning to, build upon having those wins come in, and just continuing and just making it normal, not making it an abnormal thing to receive sales, the money and somebody's income. Money with love. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of the specific aspects of how love can show up. And I have a cheat sheet I'm working on. I didn't finish it. So if you want to receive it, what you can do is, and if you're on the phone or if wherever you saw the event, just ask to receive the cheat sheet, and I'll make sure that you get it wherever that was, or you can put it inside of the chat box, your email, and I'll make sure that you get it. But I'm going to detail a little bit of what's going on. So there's obviously, like, through this all, it's like showing up with love, no fear, means you got to keep your head in the game. Like, your mindset's important. You have to be focused on what you want. One of the things I implemented is what Becky Dixon talks about, is doing a lot of gratitude. So I did a lot of gratitude last week, but I also didn't spend, I didn't make it a big deal. It's just like sat in bed, wrote gratitudes, and I got to 30, sometimes 50 of them. And then it was good to go. It wasn't like this big production. And I used to be afraid of gratitudes. Like, what if I'm not grateful for enough things? Like, whatever. I just got my head out of my ass and got going. And then I focused on really the people whose life I meant to change, because your business, my business has nothing to do with me. Your business has nothing to do with you. Yes, you have to show up to serve, but it really has to be created from a place of, nourishment for you, but true service for the world. You're here to give first. And yes, you need to be rewarded and receive money in exchange of that. But first and foremost, it has to be about really shining the light on what you're here to do. And, that might not resonate for everyone who's here. I work with women who are change makers. So at some way, shape, or form, like in your life, there was a time when you probably were a little girl or a woman who felt things were not quite the way you wanted to change things. And so that was my story. I was a little girl who had opted out of a lot of life. I just watched everybody have a better life and thought, that would be nice, but I was bullied and lost my voice and wasn't confident in many, many ways. So that's when my first commitment came to, the deeper whys to why do the work that I do. So in terms of the things that you need to be clear about and loving about, you need to be confident and clear about who you are and what you do, but also what you don't do. It really doesn't serve people to tell them things that you would love to do, but don't actually do. You got to have some clear boundaries. So that is actually a really loving thing that you can create for yourself, some boundaries. So if we're talking about an offer, and I will take time to help out people with offers today, be clear about what you're offering, what you're not offering. Because if you try to over-deliver on stuff that you suck at, it's not going to serve anybody. As a big-hearted individual, a women who have really big hearts and really want to serve big, the tendency is to want to overgive and over-deliver. That actually will shortchange your results and your potential. Tried it. It's not worth it, to be honest. The second thing is, you really want to be clear about who are those super, super duper special people whose life you're meant to change. And by know them, I mean, you really need to know them. You need to know them better than they know themselves. Get them better than they know themselves. Like, be a nerd about who these people are. Be like the person who's like the number one fan of a celebrity and just seems to know so much about them. Like, you see them in the street, like, oh my God, it's her, you know, like, you want to really be passionate and purposeful and know who that is. You want to know your destined clients, kind of like a playwright or an author knows their main character, anticipate their every move, know what's going on in their subconscious, so you can help them shine a light on those things and truly, truly be of service to them in every interaction that you have. And so this is why it's so important. And, you know, we talk about ideal client avatar and all that. Yes, it's to keep you clear and focused on what you're creating, but I think really it's to help you fall in love with them, because when you fall in love with someone, you want to show up for them and you want to be committed to them. So I think that's a really fun, love-based approach of seeing how you can thrive through your sales by falling in love with the people whose life you're meant to change. Because ultimately, you really get to choose who that is. It's kind of like, you know, your soulmate person. So you really want to get to know them better than they know themselves. And if you have questions, please pop them into the chat. I will get to them. You also, with love-based, want to have a really deeply love-based approach to every single interaction, which means that if you're about to get on the phone with somebody and you're finding yourself in a tizzy, and you don't think you can be your best, then do what you can to get yourself in that space of being your best. It could be, you know, laying flat and taking some breaths. It could be throwing on some music and shifting your mood. It could be doing some affirmations and doing some belief work. But you have to love yourself into the place of being your best possible self, so that when you interact with someone, they really get the best of you. You know, it's like always going on dates. Imagine even in the online world, you're always wanting to show all of you, like, authentically, but you're always wanting to show your best and be your best for people. So that is about putting more heart and always serving. And you know, when people show up to be on calls with you, whether it's a group call like now or whether it's a one-on-one call, that person, like all of you here, I am insanely grateful that you are taking times out of your busy lives to choose to spend some time with me. And it really, really fills my heart. Like, I know that you rearranged your schedule to be here, and I'm massively grateful for it. So my loving response to that is to give you as much as I can to thank you in exchange of you showing up for you and for this call, and this conversation was important for us to have today. And so when you approach a sales call, a sales conversation, not like, oh, I wonder if they're going to say yes, and I wonder this, and am I going to be good enough, which is all fear. You only set yourself up to expect the worst rather than anticipate the best. Expectations are based on fear. Anticipation is based on love. Anticipate the best. So get the best out of you. Anticipate you're going to be amazing. Have a great connection with the people who are there. It doesn't happen 100% of the time, right? But still put your best foot forward. It's like when you're going to a social, you're hoping for the best connection with people. Well, same thing in sales. So, you know, people have made you a priority. It's your turn to reciprocate and make them your priority, both in terms of your time and being focused and how much energy you're able to provide for them too. All right, so let's see what else I have here. Yes, and if you're ready to invite them to work with you, ask them with love. Don't be all like, I say fear-based pressure selling, like that. Who loves a pressure sale? Nobody. So don't do that. Just ask them kindly. Say, hey, you know, like I would love to work with you. I think we have some potential. I don't want to put words in your mouth, to be honest. Like, just find the way that feels the most natural for you to ask for the person to work with you. Express where you are, invite them in, and then when they say yes and they choose to pay you, receive their payment with love. Be grateful. grateful. Be like, thank you so much for trusting me with this investment. It's going to be a really great decision for you. And, you know, celebrate the money that they've sent you. Celebrate the fact that they said yes to working with you, and to mostly for doing this for themselves, because it is, again, not about you. It is about them and truly serving them from a place of having your big freaking heart. You might as well do something with it and love people back. So it does go a really long way to celebrate with them, like actually spend a moment going, woo, hi Dan, and celebrating and being happy. It will do it will bring you closer to your client when you're on the phone or on video with them. I actually really love doing video calls because there's just more intimacy that happens. And it'll go a long way to just have a genuine, heartfelt connection with your person. Another point too is that as you are expanding into receiving more people into your business, your calendar is going to be more full. So when I wasn't ready to receive more, I'd look at my calendar being full, I'd be like, yes, I have calls booked. I'm like, shit, now I don't have time to do blah, blah, blah. And I'd collapse into the fear that I wouldn't be enough. There wouldn't be enough time for me to show up for myself and for my family, just in general, a not enough mentality. Now I catch that, because when I have my calendar filled with appointments with fantastic women, I'm grateful. I'm like, these are all people who want to show up and spend some time with me. Like, how awesome is that? I mean, that said, it's not like you want to open your calendar to absolutely everyone and anyone. You do still want to be strategic and mindful as to who you reach out to and how you let people in. I use Calendly. I have, if you want to check out my Calendly, just, you know, as an example, it's calendly.com/ASDUMETZ. That gives you the message clarity assessment. And then I have one that's just a let's chat. So depending on the situation, I'll connect with people either for message clarity assessment, which is a 20-minute chat where I help them, you know, kind of understand what's going on for them in terms of visibility. And then other times it's just a let's chat session. But I am mindful about who I invite into that. I do have application forms as well. So those are systems that you can implement. So you do need to be strategic and systematized. One thing too, I would say, as you're welcoming people into your tribe, if they're going to buy your first service, I would have the first step of that service ready to deliver to them. So when people now buy my message clarity session, I have a whole welcome pack ready for them to start to implement, book their call with me, have some prep work done. And so they feel loved and nurtured. So having that all buttoned up and together before you do your sales is a really loving thing that you can do, both for you, because you'll feel more confident for yourself, but also for your person who's about to say, yes, you know what, I want to be on this journey with you. It's important to set that up, especially when you're newer or have a newer service. So for me, like, I pivoted and changed my business around in the last few months. So I have a whole bunch of new things that I'm doing, and I'm creating those pieces so that I have something to love and support my people. And one of the key important pieces, and this is one of the areas of focus in my business, is about owning your worth, your work, your message, and your story. And when I say your story and your message, it's not just the safe, pretty marketing story. You want to have a deep ownership of your words and your messaging and who you are, and be able to be vulnerable and authentic and just show up without doubting yourself. Because the more you give of you, the more people can receive of you, the more there can be a connection. There's this overlap that happens naturally when you give more, because you're the leader as a business authority, like in your sphere, in your world, you have to show up first. That is like opening a door of permission for people to show up and come and meet you halfway. This is either in social connections, when you're serving through posts and messages and videos and all that, and in sales calls, you want to be able to shine your light simply by being yourself. And that requires you totally having ownership of who you are, your story, your worth, and your messaging. And in fact, owning your story and not being owned by it is something that will allow you to own your work further, because you'll make sense of that journey that took you here to this point, that's between past, present, and future, where you are asking people to pay you to help them with the kind of services and solutions that you provide. So those are really like the big pieces that I use in the love-based approach. But I mean, the thing that's really important to remember is that it's about really showing up. I had like so many opportunities to talk myself out of continuing. And, you know, when I thought, okay, I'm going to do this Hustle Jam call, it was like a flash of an inspiration, tiny little voice that happened in the middle of the night. And the next morning I'm like, oh yeah, I had this idea. So I put it together. This call, same thing. I was inspired to do it. So quickly I put it together. And I go for the love of doing it before I can let the fear talk me out of it. And so it's a new muscle to flex that way and to plan your business that way and kind of roll with it. And it does just really work. I mean, honestly, I never thought, I should have thought, but I never thought that I would have a point where I could turn every person I spoke to into a happy client, somebody who was willing to pay for my services. I always thought, you know, that's not possible, but it is possible. But you have to be a little bit radical in your approach in terms of, I think, evolving to the point of leading with love. Like, just, that's it. You just lead with love for you, for your people, for the way that you do your business, the way you structure your business, and all of your systems. Before I get to, so I do want to work on people's offers. We're going to get to that in just a wee minute here. So here's something else. I had another flash of inspiration. I froze. Somebody said I froze for a second. Oh, but I'm back. Oh, hi, Catherine. Okay, good. Before I talk more, are there any questions at all? If you have a question and you're just on the phone, you can unmute yourself. If you are in the computer, you can also just pop it into the chat and I can unmute you. Otherwise, what I want to do is also share with you my next inspired idea, which came as a result of following the thread of what I meant to do. And it's all a very love-based thing. So I'll just spend a few minutes just talking about it. I'm actually going to share my screen. Share screen. Share. So I had this inspired idea that I'm going to make the Spread Love, Make Sales 30-day bootcamp, because I think we can all use more love and more excitement in our life. And just to, like, I put this together, the video and the page, and it's completely far from perfect, but I put it together today in about half an hour. And here's Chi-Chi, who talked, this was just a few days ago after we had first connected. She had sent me this note, you know, of just how it worked. But this 30-day Spread Love, Make Sales Bootcamp is really to stay in a high vibe around showing up for yourself, for your people, and being able to make sales. And it really is, for me, like, the more you can make sales, the more you can change your life. So this is a program that is going to run from mid-June to about mid-July for 30 days. It starts June 13th. I'm going to have some weekly hustle jam to help women craft their offers, keep their fire ignited. And I use this term here, pick any offer wedgies when you're just kind of feeling stuck and you need to keep moving and build momentum. So it is about, you know, doing sales the fun, loving, most generous way for you. There's going to be also some daily expansion and mindset tune-up calls. So those are going to be happening 4 times a week during the weekdays. Again, to keep momentum going, head in the game. And there will be just daily calls to focus on your mindset, keep your vibe super high, and keep you to take action. I want to make these short so that you can show up and not feel overwhelmed by them. There is going to be also a secret Facebook community to talk about, to connect with everybody. And there's the tribe of like-minded women. The other thing that I'm doing that it says in my little video, you can tell I recorded the video today because I look the same in it. But what we're going to do is actually set some goals. And I should give you the URL. I forgot. Just hold on. It's bit.ly. Hold on. Let me just stop the sharing for a second and just find the URL because I completely forgot. bit.ly/love sales bootcamp. That's what it is. So, and we'll do the offers. I really won't spend too long on this. I just want to give it to you. So if you want to check it out, you have it. So it's bit.ly/love sales bootcamp. So what we're going to do too is at the very beginning of the 30 days, we're going to set a stretch goal. So it's easy to set a goal at like, I'm going to get one new client this month, but is that really going to serve you? Well, maybe if it's a 10 or 15 or $20,000 client or whatever is an income goal that feels exciting, but we're going to set a goal that stretches you a little bit. And that's what you're going to be working towards. So during the first week, we're setting the goal. We're also going to work on your offers, and I'll give you some help and teaching and education around how to craft and create that offer so that you can go and sell it. And this is not about necessarily creating your biggest high-end offer. I want to actually get women who have been trying to be in business and build momentum to join this program so that you can really nail that first offer. This is like the equivalent of taking somebody out you like on a first date. Be like, this is a swanky coffee shop. They've got a killer latte. Let's go and have one together. It's like the equivalent of the very first step that you would want to have a paid client pay you for. So I want to really focus on where you are, so you can get that point working, have people coming in at that point that allows you to create the momentum, the income to then build the rest. It's really easy to get wrapped up in trying to build the thing that is only going to come in 3 months, meanwhile feeling like you need relief today. So I want to come and bring relief today, build confidence and momentum, and starting to be authentic in your sales. And I can tell you about the sales scripts from the however many programs I've taken and the many things I've tried and the ones I've created. I can share all that with you, but ultimately I want you to start to get comfortable showing up, using your story, using your voice, using just your authentic heart, and starting to sell from a place of service and really truly authentically connecting with people. It's the first layer of authenticity. It's the first point of contact. So that's what's going to be happening. Like week 1, we'll be focusing on those offers. And then week 2, 3, and 4, the rest of the boot camp is really focusing on being social, reaching out, serving, how you can give in a way that also gives you back, that exchange of energy, and selling, like closing the sales, bringing in the new clients, and building from there. So it's about building up a foundation, building up momentum, having fun while you're doing it, because if you're going to do it, might as well do it the fun way. It shouldn't be a boring experience. So I'll let you go back and check out my page, and you can listen to my little video. If you have questions, please let me know. This is me completely showing up from a place of service because I had this win in my business. It really has changed things for me, and I want everybody to experience this kind of magic. I mean, it is absolutely reachable, absolutely doable. So why wait? Like, if not now, when? And I know many of you have other things going on. So do I, but what the fuck, now is the time. Why wait? I've got lives to change, people to impact. I got to show up for myself and my people now. So I'm doing it. And so if you're at that place of feeling excited about it, do it too. So this is totally a program that could be like $1,000 because it's going to be high touch, high value, and really get you light a fire under your butt and inside your soul to get you to keep going. But I'm making it $297 for this month of June because I want it to be accessible and fun, and I have my heart set on having 100 women in there. So it is really just going to be a super high vibe, love-filled experience where you can tap into the possibility of really transforming your life and your business now by starting where you are and focusing on this first foundational puzzle piece. Yes, I know you want to build a big business empire, but you have to start with the foundation and the first floor. It's like that skyscraper gets built one story at a time. So I want to get you started with even just the front door. Like, let's just start with where you are. So that's what it is. And I'm going to now turn it over. I'm just going to make sure I didn't forget anything about this. I don't think so. Oh, I was going to say too, yeah, bonus. So for anybody who does sign up on this call today, I will be also bonusing. I have a training called the Ideal to Real Get Clients Now training. This is a digital training that comes along with a PDF. I had offered that up as a bonus in Jen Scalia's Little Black Business Book launch and on her invitation. So it is a digital program I have that I'll be giving to everybody who joins me for this month and signs up on the call today. So that said, I want to shift the mic over to you and help you out with crafting offers, answer any questions about absolutely anything on this call. I am here for you. So is this a month, or is it going to run every month, Marie-Lou? So this is going to be for 1 month from June 13th to July 13th. And is it going to run every month? So I'm going to do this month to see how it goes, like just to really build it. I probably won't be running it every single month. I imagine will be a program that will run a few times during the year because it's a lot of energy to put in. If you have another question, let me know. I also want to address the fact that if you have some days off that are happening, I know in Canada and the US there are days off around that, you'll still be okay. You can still fully participate. Oh yeah, there's also a prize. When you set your goal, everybody's going to be sharing their stretch goal at the very beginning, and whoever blows past her goal the most at the end, and photo evidence will be required, is going to get to win a prize. So I'm not exactly sure what the prize is now, but my intention is that during the month that we are in that program, I'm going to create the prize and test it out, see like who wants what, and make it a juicy prize so that it feels really motivating to show up and blow past your goal. So there's a little bit of a healthy sense of competition if you want. And a note on competition, like I don't think there really is room for competition in this world. There's more than enough people who need the services that each one of us has to offer. I don't remember the number, but the number of women who are getting online every day starting businesses is absolutely staggering. It is massive. So there's more than enough business out there for each and every one of us. And so showing up from that place of service and love is really, really going to be the difference maker, because you're not going to sound just like a scripted person. You're going to sound like you. You're going to be you, which is the best gift that you can give the people whose life you're meant to change. The more of you shows up in your own life, the more of you there is to love. And that's what people want. People buy from people. People want to be served by people, not products. They really connect with the genuine side of you. And that's where that authenticity and that love really, 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 really matters. So, all right. So who would has some question, want some of my time? I'm totally here for you. And again, like if you are on your phone and wanted to take note of that URL, it's bit.ly/love sales bootcamp. So should I just unmute randomly? If you are on your phone, I might unmute the phone people because I'm not actually sure how you unmute yourself. So the number that ends in 1781, who's this? Hello? Oh, I don't hear anybody. Okay, so Kelly, you were here for a while. I'm going to unmute you. Hey, Kelly.
And like, okay, so let's talk coaching for a second.
Oh wait, she's talking to somebody else. Okay, I see. Let's see, who else wants to talk? Kelly Shanshara, you want to say hi?
Let me see.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
How's it going?
Hello. It's going great. Thank you.
Good.
Well, actually, since I wasn't going to talk, but I am working on something.
Yeah.
I was thinking about moving or trying to not write any more copy for people. And so actually Becky helped me to think through that, challenged me on the why. Oops. Okay, still there. Challenged me on why I wanted to stop doing it. And so she kind of helped me conclude that it's a worth issue. So, and not that I just no longer like doing it. And so that has been my way of really getting clients the quickest is through copy. I've just been resisting it because I didn't know if I wanted to continue doing it. So now that's what I'm trying to determine of what you know, an offer that I can make to people around copy and offering sales copy. I love writing sales pages. So I was thinking if someone has a launch coming up within, let's just say, the next 30 or 60 days, that I can offer them, you know, a launch package and where I am writing all of that copy for them. So that's kind of what I'm toying with right now.
So you would write the sales page and then you would also write the email sequences?
Right. So whether it's, even if they have an opt-in, you know, from helping them to either craft their opt-in, write their opt-in page, you know, copy, through the follow-up sequences, through the sales pages, through helping them with Facebook promos. So I have different packages like that already, but I wanted to do something more specific to will you be launching like in the next month or two, you know, because I know during the summer months, a lot of times people kind of hold off on launching until like September or something like that. So I want to basically help them get launch ready.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what, you sound like you're clear enough about what you want. So what's your hold up? Where do you need more clarity?
Where do I need more clarity?
Yeah.
So I guess where I would need more clarity is for me to maybe even around pricing it, and what I want to include as part of the package that I'm making kind of like a special summer kind of offer. Something that will, you know, people will see as a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But also something where I'm considering the amount of time and effort and work that I put into those type of projects.
And would you consider doing a joint offer with a graphic designer?
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking from the client perspective for me. Like if I have a launch that is coming up, I'm going to need copy and a sales page. So
right.
I've seen people do that, and I think it would be a compelling thing to do where you can have both of you selling the same package to bring in a certain amount of clients. Honestly, in terms of the price point for copy and design, like I'm not 100% sure. It has to do with what you want to create, and mostly I think it's going to have to do with you defining sort of is it a small, medium, or long kind of sales page. Maybe
right.
It's around like having a sense of the type of sales page or product this is best suited for. And you know, if those people whose life you really want to change that you and I've talked about before, like if you can market in some way to them specifically, then that would be ideal. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think you're clear enough. Mostly what you get, I think you shouldn't start by saying what's included. You should start by making a list of what's excluded.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah, because that's where you're going to shortchange yourself by wanting to give too much. So just start by making your clear container of what it's not, and then you will see what it is.
Okay, that's good. Okay,
cool.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Awesome. Who's up? So I've got a few of you still on the line here. Thanks, Shanshara. It was so good to hear you.
All right.
All right. So let's see. Let's go. I have an iPhone here. Who's on an iPhone? Say hello. Hello.
I'm on an iPhone.
That's you. Who is this? Hello? Oh, she's unmuted. Hold on. Give me a sec. All right. You're unmuted. The person who's...
I am?
Yes, you are. Who is it?
All right. It's Catherine.
Hi, Catherine. How's it going?
Good. Enjoying your time here, talking about love.
Yes. 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 I can always talk about love. I've been drawing hearts and doodling hearts like my whole life. So
I see your art to your left, my right. It's very pretty. Right. Very lively.
Yeah.
So so my only question today would be, I have this workshop that I'm doing. I messaged you about it earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stay focused to not over deliver and just really stay on results from my ideal client's perspective, not necessarily what I would call it. But that's not really for this call, but that's what I'm working on. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Cool. Well, sorry, somebody said somebody's got to run. Thank you. Okay, cool. Is there anything you need more clarity on right now about anything that we talked about, or no?
No, I think I'm clear.
You're clear. Yeah, I would say, like, for you, just kind of like the same thing I said for Shanshara, is making a list of what is excluded first, and for you in terms of the outcomes and results, it's always keeping it more simple. Sometimes less is more. So that's what I would say.
All right, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Nice being here.
Yeah. Okay. Marie-Lou, where is she? Salut.
Hi.
Ça va?
Ça va?
Good. Okay. So we'll keep it in English for the benefit of everybody else. But any ahas, insights, questions, anything I can help you with today?
I missed the last 10 minutes because my computer just died.
Oh.
But no, I'm so what I'm so many things happening. I think I'm having a hard time designing my package, my new packages. I'm looking forward to our next sessions.
Yes. Yes.
I thought I just stopped thinking about it because I need to get clear on my message in order to create the packages, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's that place of really, when I was talking about getting to know your ideal clients so well that you fall in love with them and you know exactly what's going to work for them. That sort of feels where you are now. And yeah. I would say, yeah, you're right. Park the packages. And honestly, it might just be spending some time envisioning who that person is and like dreaming about them, just really like pretend you're the most famous movie director and you're like, who would be my dream character? And you can envision who that is as much as possible in the context of who you really want to be serving and helping in your business. And we'll drill down to that further when we are talking next week. Excuse me. But falling in love with the person whose life you want to change is a radical, life-changing way of approaching your business, because you just really want to help them. You're not just you don't see them as people with problems that you're here to solve. You're like, oh, you just care and you want to help.
Yeah, that actually, it has been an interesting week because I started to do things I've never done before. Like, I talk with passion about what I do but just because I want to talk about what I do and not because I want to sell them. And every time I do that, they go like, oh, that's interesting. Can you give me your details? Because maybe I'll come back to you, and it feels better.
Good.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I've started to shift from nutrition only to something more. Even every blog post I write, or it's all different now.
Yeah, it's more connected to who you are.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's good. And there's something that happens too when you shift into using more love in the whole sales, is that you remove a bit of the pressure of time too. I think when people start, they're like, okay, I have a call. I have to make sure I can, get this person to say yes to me right away. It's like all people do when they do that, it's all fear and expectation. And so that creates a really crappy vibe. as opposed to just showing up, being as kind and loving as cares as possible, and then going through the natural flow of following up with somebody and seeing, if they weren't a yes immediately, sometimes people do need time to think. So yeah, and things happen more naturally that way. So removing the expectation and simply trusting that people who are ready when they're ready, and that just kind of just works, I'm just continuing to show up with your big heart first. So,
And I want to share something. Maybe it can be of use to other women listening to this, because I had a chat with a friend of mine, and he is a therapist. He does energy works, etc. And he's a very spiritual person. And I think all of us, we experience deep change lately, because you start thinking about your business and you want to make it in a different way so it's more meaningful or things like that. And that friend told me, because I had a lot of clarity call booked, and they filled the form to go on the call, but they never scheduled the sessions.
mm-hmm.
And they go like, oh yeah, maybe I'll call you later, or things like that. And I was sharing that frustration with him, and he said, but they wanted to work with the woman you were last month, and you've made so many changes that are, like deep changes. So something needs to realign, and some of them won't call you back because it's not aligned anymore, but some of them are going to realign with this new energy. So this time thing, this pressure, and I really put this pressure out of my shoulders, and it feels very, very, very good.
Yeah, no, that's true. And there's also, being attached to the people you've missed on is only fear. And so if you really focus on the people who you're welcoming in, that's then only love. And it's a bit of a thinking error to only look back to the clients you've had. It's great to be thrilled the clients you have and the people you get to work with, and anticipate, like, I wonder who else I'm going to get to work with. Like, be in that space of wonder and excitement. It creates a different dynamic of what you're ready to welcome into your world and into your life. So it does add more magic. So yeah, it's definitely about being where you are, and I think that's where the Spread Love Makes Sales Bootcamp is about. Like, just be where you are, and from that place of where you are now, like, start to get some wins, build up your confidence from that place while you're figuring out the rest too. So
about that. I was wondering, because I'm sure you explained, but my computer was off.
Sure.
Is it going to help me build those packages? I want to be practical.
It's going to be, I want people who participate to focus on really being solid with that first offer, like that. So there will be like one first thing that you're going to be focusing on for the month. And the thing is, when you're offering and talking to clients, like, it will be probably something that happens in the process, because you're going to be getting out there, talking to people, receiving feedback, receiving information. It's not going to be my primary focus for the course. My primary focus is for the bootcamp is for you to really focus on one offer. Like, I'll give you the example of my first offer for me is the message clarity session. So I started to get clear about what it is, what it's not, who it's for, who it's not for, and then just focused only on that for a certain amount of time. And then I started to sell like a whole bunch of them, because all of my energy was going towards really serving people who were at the place of needing that product.
Oh, okay.
But that has allowed me to then get clear about, well, what's next? Like, what are the other pieces too? Like, I had some ideas, of course, like I wasn't unsure completely, but being in the motion of going out there, getting some wins, talking to people, being confident, and that allowed further clarity to come to the other packages. The error often happens when you're trying to get clear about everything all at once, and then you're you don't really have the solid foundation. But if your first thing that you sell people doesn't work, then the rest probably won't work either. So it's about really getting solid with that first offer, building
I like that.
place. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because I think, I don't like ideas. I just have too many of them, and I don't know I want to create something that's going to have a sense of progress,
Yeah. And
first step, next step, etc. And now it's all in my head, but it's a bit tangled.
yeah, and the thing that's funny too that happens is, like I've sold packages, like coaching programs that are 5,000 and more, and that's one client. But when I've sold lots of smaller amount to many women at the same time, it feels so much more fulfilling. It's from as somebody who wants to help people, you're like, I get to help multiple people. Yay. Like, it's so fun, right? So it's extra confidence building when you focus on that first offer and it works, and you build that muscle of talking about it and offering it. And every time you talk about your offer, you talk about you. So you're like learning to just show up more all over and over again. And that is the kind of resiliency and confidence you need to build to then be able to move into the bigger packages. And I think, the reason when I started that things didn't work out as well is that I kind of skipped that first step. I went straight to selling big packages, and which I can still sell, but it's a lot easier to get to that point by starting where you are and building confidence with something that feels easy, fun, and fulfilling, and serves a lot for you to offer and provide. And, as your confidence grows, the price of that package or that first offer is going to expand too, because the value of it will grow too as you deliver it more. But it's really important to start where you are. And I think that the entrepreneurs who have tried things and have kind of thrown things against the wall to see what works, what won't, and there's a bit of guesswork to it. It's usually because they haven't really focused in on really building kind of like ground one. Like first, I'm doing this, if you're watching the video, this with my hands, it's like the foundation pieces on which you can build the building. So you need to do that first.
Cool. I like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'll try to unmute Kelly one more time, just see if she's still around. Hey, Kelly.
But you wouldn't have all these great stories to tell if you hadn't.
Oh, I think she's on another call and doesn't know she's with us. That's funny. Okay, well, I am going to then, if there are no more questions, I'm going to wrap up the call. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me today. It was really great to be able to talk about this perspective shift on making sales from a place of big heart, deep love, and really of service. It really is life-changing to go from a place of, oh my God, is this going to be worth my time? Is it going to be worth people's time? To just showing up, serving, being social, and then offering people for the next step. And when they're ready, they just take it. So it's all about putting your best self out there and expecting the best to come and meet you halfway as well. So thank you so much, everyone. So if you want to join me for the bootcamp, you can go to bit.ly/lovesalesbootcamp. And it is the first run of this bootcamp, but it's going to be super high vibe, super fun, love-filled, a great community. If you join today, I'm going to also bonus the Ideal to Real training, which is a digital Ideal to Real Get Clients Now training, a digital course that is an audio plus a PDF that walks you through some of the different pieces that you need to think about to get a real client, design that first offer, and how to think about the back end of that. And I really look forward to having you in this program, and I hope this call has served you. If you're not on my email list and you want to be, please ask me. You can go also to she'sachangemaker.com. That's my speaker series where you have access to some videos. I will have the cheat sheet for today's class put together. I just didn't get there yet, but fuck perfect. It's better to show up and have it done than not done at all. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love from the bottom of my heart. I'm so grateful to have had every one of you here. And have a fantastic, fantastic rest of your day. Nourish yourself with love and joy, and be the best that you can be for you and everybody else that is there. Oh, merci Marie-Lou. I love you too. Bye.